and Magic the Gathering creature cards that actually make creatures. I'm going to start off with Summoning Station. It's a 7-mana artifact. That's right. That you tap to put a 2/2 colorless pincher creature token into play. What do they do? Pinch your nose or something? Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from play, you can untap the Summoning Station. So as you set, you make creatures, and if you sack them, you untap the Summoning Station. That's probably an infinite combo with something, right? You gotta be able to make like infinite ETBs with like Arcbound Ravager, because you put oh no, it's only a colorless, it's not an artifact itself. Whatever, someone will break this card. I think it's a card. That's how I'm starting off with. But Beanpot says Luminarch Ascension. Oh, this thing. It's a white 1 generic enchantment. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if you didn't lose life, which is possible because it's really early in the game, you can put a quest counter on Luminarch Ascension. And it's each opponent's end step, so if you're playing in a 4-player game, them counters gonna add up real quickly. You pay a white and 1 generic, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. And angel, activate this ability only if Luminarch Ascension has 4 or more quest counters on it, which will be easy. You just one rotation around the board, one more person, that's it. You're gonna start cranking out them 4/4 creatures. Okay, Platonic Liquid says, you know what, a combos with other stations if only the token was an artifact. Yeah, if the token was an artifact, that's probably why they didn't do it. They could already see the problems arising. Jonathan with Bridge from Below. You're not wrong! This is hardly even a card in itself, because it's useless on the battlefield. The triple black enchantment, whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, if Bridge from the Below is in your graveyard, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. When a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield, if Bridge from Below is in your graveyard, exile Bridge from Below. The card that does more in your graveyard than on the battlefield. It actually creates more creatures probably than any other card that we're going to see today. Over the history of Magic the Gathering, of course. Allie says, does Endless Ranks of the Dead work? Endless Ranks of the Dead. Are you reanimating some creatures, Allie? Is that what you're doing? Let's see. Okay, black 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you create an X/2/2 zombie creature token. Or you create X/2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down. Good enough for me. You know, it's a little, I'm not going to count Populate cards out there. I think Populate is a little, I mean, unless there's something in addition to the Populate card. But this one works enough for me. This one requires you to have, hold on, is it X is half, where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down? What if you have nothing? If you control 2 or fewer zombies, you won't get any. Well, that sucks. So we need to get our zombie on. Erethusa, Urza's Factory. True story? Actually, I didn't even think about the creature lands at all when I was creating this idea. Urza's Factory. Okay, we tap, add a colorless, pay 7 tap, create a 2/2 colorless assembly worker artifact creature token. You know what's weird? Okay, I once called a judge on my opponent for having Urza's Factory in Modern. It was played in their Tron deck. Because it's like the word Urza in the name. It was like a long time ago. I don't know, it was like even before like Urza Saga came out. I was like, there's no way this is a legal Modern card. But I was confusing it with like Urza's workshop or something, or Mishra's Factory. I don't know, between Urza's Mishra's Factory and Urza's workshop. Like these are old cards. But you take those 2 old names, put them together, and actually it's a modern, weirdly a modern legal card. My opponent was shaking. It was like, oh my god, am I playing? Because I did it with such confidence. Like, Judge, my opponent has an Urza's Factory in their deck. And no, it's modern legal. I'm, what? Anyway, so yeah. My apologies to opponent. Did they create the Tron lands to have synergy with? They did. That's exactly what happened. Great idea. It was a Tron deck. All right, we got Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper, you get our first new super chat. Oni Cult Anvil, somehow getting it in my opening hands. Oni Cult Anvil. Okay, this is a black-red artifact. Whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. So somehow you keep getting in your opening hands. What are you implying there? Why do you have to leave that context for us, Steve? What's going on? It's somehow this card keeps showing up in your opening hands. Okay, tap, sacrifice an artifact. Oni Cult Anvil deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain 1 life. It creates creatures. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. We got Platonic Liquid with Sprout Swarm. Oops. It's Sprout. This is it. This is a real card. Sprout. Okay, hold on. It's thinking. All right, we got there. We're a green 1 generic instant with Convoke. Buyback 3. I swear, you've actually suggested this card on another show. So it's like, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token into play, but it's got buyback of 3. But can't you Convoke to pay for the buyback? So you can like basically just tap 5 creatures. And also, so it goes infinite by itself. Because if you have 5 saplings in play, you basically tap 5, Convoke it, and you can do this for free every single turn. I think there's an even better way to go infinite with this card, but it does work. We got Diego, Skrelv's Hive. I can't remember, was that a creature? It's an enchantment! But it looks like a creature card. Enchantments that look like creatures. That could be a new show in the future. White 1 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and you create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1. That's right. And then someone's asking, like, what's toxic? Well, it's like Infect. And this creature can't block. Well, that's the downside. But it's got lifelink, right? Doesn't it have lifelink? Upkeep, you lose 1 life. Corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with toxic have lifelink. Oh, you gotta work for that lifelink. You gotta work for it. It's not given, but eventually you'll get it. Mark Zilla. Liliana Dreadhorde something. The General. Okay, we got black 4 generic 6 loyalty Liliana. Whenever a creature you control dies, you draw a card. But you can go +1, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. But wait, there's more. Don't change that dial, because for -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. And then -9, if you can ever get there. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacks the rest. Actually, very underwhelming -9. You're basically going to Armageddon them. They'll keep all their good stuff. They got an artifact creature. They could count it as their artifact. You know, there's a lot of cheatsy ways to get around this ultimate. Mr. Deadhead with the Breeding Pit. Breeding Pit. Black 3 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Breeding Pit unless you pay black. They don't make cards like that anymore. That mechanic is stone dead. Wasn't even a very fun mechanic. You can pay double black. You have to pay some upkeep every single turn. They should do that. They should bring that back for the more oppressive cards these days. Omnath has pay red, blue, white, green every single turn. Or sack your Omnath. Alright, at the beginning of your upkeep, sack Breeding Pit unless you pay double black. At the beginning of your end step, put a 0/1 black roll creature token onto the battlefield. That is a real... You know what? I would say this card's worse than Bitter Blossom. That's what I would say. We found a card worse than Bitter Blossom. It won't kill you, but it won't do anything either. I hate cards you have to pay for every turn, especially a 4-drop. Exactly. 4 mana, pay a 2 mana tax every single turn. Marcelo! Contraband livestock. Oh my goodness, it's an actual farm, and this is not an unset card. We got a white 1 generic instant, exile target creature, then roll a d20. Now 1 to 9, you get a 4/4 green ox creature token. You roll 10 to 19, its controller gets a 2/2 green boar creature token. Then if you get the magical 1 out of 20, wait, you get a 0/1? I thought you were supposed to get something good when it's rare. Not something terrible. Oh, congratulations. You are the very unlucky winner of a 0-1 goat. Don't take all its milk at once. Actually, aren't goats good? You let them... They're like basically a living lawnmower. They'll graze the grass, but not eat all of it. Dario, C-double. Instant. It's a blue 2 generic. The spell can't be copied. What happened in R&D testing that had to add that thing? It's like, okay, copying this spell, that's broken. We've got to make sure that it's not copyable. Okay, choose one. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, you may choose both. Copy target spell. Oh, I guess you could copy itself with itself. Copy target spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Create a token that's a copy of target creature. That works out for me. Next super chat from Pyro Bob. Urabrask's Forge. It's a red 2 generic artifact at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put an oil counter on Urabrask's Forge, then create an X1 red Phyrexian horror creature token with Trample and Haste, where X is the number of oil counters on Urabrask's Forge. Sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. We gotta keep losing those tokens. So like what? Hold on, every turn we put another counter on this, we get a bigger creature, but we lose it. It's just a one-shot cannon, effectively. With haste, at the very least. Beginning of combat on your turn. Only on combat. Put an oil counter. Well, not an upkeep trigger. Very awkward. It's like, go to declare attacks. Oh, you missed your upkeep. Sorry. Sorry, missed your combat step. Bribery. True story. Oh, they have another art for bribery. All right, we got a blue 3 generic sorcery from Abzo. Search your opponent's library for a creature card and put that card onto the battlefield under your control. Then that player shuffles. You know, I don't know what it is. I never get good use out of bribery. In fact, I've played against some players who specifically made sure their deck was not weak to bribery. There was like no ETBs in their deck at all. It was like all cast triggers. So like if I briberied them, they're like, go for it. Whatever you get, it's just going to be some big clunky creature, and we could kill it on the next turn. Alright, we got next Commander Masters reprint. It's a little cheaper than the original. Just a little cheaper. Whatever. You get your bribery on. Xavier, the epic card, Endless Swarm. We got a green 5 generic sorcery. Put a 1/1 green snake creature token onto the battlefield for each card in your hand. This card is so bad. Oh no, but sorry. It's for each card in your hand. So actually and if you're playing epic, you're not going, if it epics, you can't play anything for the rest of the game. You're gonna have like 7 cards in hand. Okay, that makes sense. It's finally some sense being made around here. So you actually can make 7 tokens, but that's it. That's the best you can do for the rest of the game. King Ginger. My favorite commander, Lord Windgrace. The ultimate. Jund 2 generic, 5 loyalty. For Windgrace Planeswalker, +2, discard a card, then draw a card. So it's rummaging. If a land card is discarded this way, you get to draw another card. I think that's actually busted. -3, return up to 2 target land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Well, at least it's -3. That +2 is insane. It's basically saying, no, okay, you just draw 1 card overall. Okay, I forgot. I thought it was like, you discard 1, you draw 2, but you're not really drawing a whole 2. You have to discard a card, whatever. -11, destroy up to 6 target non-land permanents. Then create 6 2/2 green cat warrior creature tokens with Forest Walk. And this thing can be your commander. Someone super chat Spectral Procession. Did anyone super chat Spectral Procession? Okay, we'll give it to you. We'll give it to you, Jonathan. Don't worry. Sometimes you just have to you ask and you shall receive. Spectral Procession. It's the token maker, right? Okay, so it could be 3 white, or you can pay 2. It could be 6 generic mana. Sorcery. Put 3 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Sort of the underwhelming version of Lingering Souls. Actually, the much crappier no, I don't know about much crappier. Lingering Souls is like 5 mana for creatures. This is 6 mana for 3. No good. But it fits the show, so I'm happy for that. John's like, busted. They should have banned this card. You're crazy. You're just absolutely crazy. Rated Lex. Goblin Warrens. Gobbos everywhere. Goblin. Okay, we have a red 2 generic enchantment. 3 mana, sack 2 goblins. Put 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. That's an investment I can get around. Alright, you sack 2 goblins, you get 3. How does that make sense? Goblins bred underground, their numbers hidden from the enemy until it was too late. Are they eating each other? So you sack 2 goblins, somehow you make 3. And who's breeding all these goblins? Feeding the babies to the babies. Yeah, what's going on over there? What the hell? What are you doing in the basement, you stupid goblin warriors? Toads with elephant ambush. Elephant ambush. There's no way that's how elephant is spelled. I got it wrong in grade 2. It burned in my mind for forever. Flash it back and get 2 pachyderms. I don't know what that means. Green 2 generic instant. Put a 3/3 green elephant creature token into play. But for flashback, for double green 6 generic, you may play this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then remove it from the game instead. Yeah, you get your... This is so bad. This is like a worse call the herd. This is literally worse call the herd, in my opinion. Abe with the Urza Saga. Urza Saga, we got, okay, you tap. It's a land. It's now taken over Vintage, apparently. Like, this is just a staple in Vintage. Go get your, like, Soul Ring after it's done. I'm surprised it's not like a $100 card. It sees massive competitive play. As far as I'm concerned, it's a staple in, it should be a staple in Commander. Because worst case scenario, like what? It's going to find your Soul Ring, and it creates creatures. And it can also tutor up other stuff, like Grafdigger's Cage or something. Urza Saga gains pay 2, tap, create a 0/0 colorless construct artifact creature token. With this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. And you can do that twice! You activate on Chapter 2, and before it goes to Chapter 3 on your next, after your untap step, you go activate and make another construct token. Absolutely broken card. Surprised it's not banned or restricted anywhere. Well, restricted in Commander. Only 1/ofs allowed. Is this a real card? The girl in the fireplace? It is! It's a white 2 generic. Is this card officially out now? You people keep mentioning a bunch of Doctor Who cards, and I can't tell if this set is out. I think it's out by now. Create a 1/1 white human noble creature token with Vanishing 3, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature. You can also, at Chapter 2, create a 2/2 white horse creature token with doctors you control have horsemanship. That... Why do they have horsemanship? It's the lord of that thing. They can't be blocked except by creatures with horsemanship. Get on your horse! Okay, and Chapter 3, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player this turn, time travel. That's fine with me. Urza Saga is one of the best design cards at all times. Were you nuts? I think it's a little pushed. You know what? I would be totally fine if it didn't have this 3rd chapter clause. One of the best design... I guess it's an interesting card. It is interesting. Okay, next super chat we've got from... we did Abe. We'll do another super chat anyway. Sean McCartney. Oh, God. Where is your super chat, Sean? You're going to make me dig for it, aren't you? You could have paid the 1 extra cent and you got to use words. Just 1 more penny. Now I got to look for your super. I'm digging. Digging around. Okay, I found you. Okay, what's your super chat, Sean? You're bombarded by... See, the problem is some people, they super chat and then they write a regular comment. You got to pay enough. Okay, Sean McCartney, I can't find your super chat. I don't see it at all. So I donate it. We're donating Sean's super chat to Christopher B. Always around here. Assault on something. Oz Goliath. Osgoliath? I never heard of it. Red, 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 X, sorcery. Amass orcs X. Then goblins and orcs you control gain double strike and haste until end of turn. Oh yes, that's great. That's the last thing I need to hear. Got random 1/1 goblins having double strike now. Or even, I don't know, what's it called? Not Muxus. Goblin Lackey. Yeah, Goblin Lackey with double strike. That's broken. They'll put 2 goblins onto the battlefield. Canty with animate objects. We have a blue for generic sorcery. You get 7 tickets. This is an acorn card. Whatever. Choose an inanimate object you own from outside the game. I choose this remote controller that controls my lighting back here. You want to see? Here, we can switch it up to green. How about green and purple? We got a little. No, let's make this part green. And I want the other side purple. No, too much purple. Okay, got it. Okay, so what can I turn this into? You may also put a name sticker, an art sticker, and an ability sticker on it. Put it onto the battlefield as a creature. All right. Attack my remote controller. What do we got here? Gareth, Night Soil. It's literally garbage. Green, green, enchantment. Pay 1. Exile 2 creature cards from a single graveyard. Put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield. Reminds me of Scavenging Ooze. It's like a 2-drop. You exile cards for 1 mana. You get value. Instead of 1 life, you get a 1/1 creature. It's not the worst card, to be honest. Seems like a great, but unfortunately, it only hits the creature cards. But against the right deck, that could be a huge hoser. Next, we got Platonic Liquid. With Dono to Old Boy for letting me steal Sprout Swarm. Old Boy. Okay, what do you got, Old Boy? You could also mention Old Boy's cards, you know. Okay, we're gonna look for Old Boy. Old Boy, are you still trying? It's hard to tell when you guys give up. Old Boy, Old Boy. What was Old Boy's card? Someone, Old Boy, speak up. You know, the chat, you guys, if you're watching it live, or even if you're watching on the replay, it's an absolute cesspool. You people are just yelling all sorts of stuff out there. I can't find Old Boy. You people swiping cards from each other. Was it this? Was it Awakening of the it was Sprout Swarm? Oh, I see. So what, so was it supposed to be Sprout Swarm for letting me steal the Sword Swarm? Well, I don't know what else he wants to do here. Okay, hold on. Thank you very much, Platonic Liquid. It's too sweet. But that's it. Okay, we'll give the next one to Platonic Liquid anyway. Tombstone Stairwell. Okay, we got a black 2 generic Enchant World, cumulative upkeep, a black 1 generic. Cumulative, so it goes to 4, then 6. During each upkeep, each player puts into play a Tomb Spawn token for each summon card in his or her graveyard. This is worded like a Yu-Gi-Oh card or something. That doesn't sound like Magic the Gathering. A summon card in his or her graveyard. Okay, treat these tokens as 2/2 black creatures that are unaffected by summoning sickness and count as zombies. At end of turn, if Tombstone Stairwell leaves play, bury all of those tokens. It works for me. Okay, let's get one from Diego. White Sun Twilight. It's a white X sorcery. You gain X life. You create X 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with toxic. Remember, it's the same as it's very similar to Infect. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. What the hell is going on here? That actually is an insane card. So if it's 5 or more, you probably are in range of killing your opponent with the toxic creatures, and you also kill. It's basically a board wipe. Next super chat, let's get to Crackling Goblin X. Nikachu, how are you? Can you withstand the might of the Hornet Cannon? Probably not. It's a 4-mana artifact, pay 3 tap. Put a 1/1 colorless insect artifact creature token with flying, haste, named Hornet onto the battlefield. Destroy it at the beginning of the next end step. Sounds like this is actually not very exciting at all. Is that it? Where did this come from? It came from Stronghold. Pay 3, tap. That's it. We just have a 1/1. But it is called a Hornet. The name is more... It's just one of those annoying damn wasps that's floating around my garbage. Not particularly harmful, but also annoying. We gotta go make another free super chat to... Does Pongify... You know what? I'm gonna count Pongify. Absolutely. Kind of outside the box here. Also one of the very few actual destroy target creature cards in blue. Blue instant, destroy target creature. It can't be regenerated. And in its place, its controller creates a 3/3 green dirty ape creature token. Do we have an ape sound effect? We have a Donkey Kong Country sound effect here. In honor of Pongify. Next super chat, we've got oh, the Saproling Burst from the Prototype Gamer. It has a very classic combo piece. Okay, it's a green 4 generic enchant with fading 7. Remove a fading counter from Sapling Burst. You get a creature onto the battlefield equal, like power and toughness equal to the number of fading counters. So you remove 1 fading counter, you got yourself a 6/6. Remove 2 fading counters, you've got 2 5/5s. Remove 3, you got 3 4/4s. When Burst leaves the battlefield, destroy all tokens put onto the battlefield with Sapling Burst. They can't be regenerated. Oh, I didn't actually know about that last clause. I guess that makes sense. Because if it's not there, you don't have counters on your Sapling Burst, so all the Burst creature tokens are going to die. Did they have that clause on the last one? When it leaves play, destroy. Yeah, I guess it was. It was always there. Never happened, though. John says, I hate the Saproling decks. Well, I've never played against one, so I don't care. Emil! Gutter Grime is an odd way to get some big dudes from the death triggers. We have a green 4 generic enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, put a slime counter on Gutter Grime. Then put a green ooze creature token onto the battlefield with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of slime counters on the Gutter Grime. It's a lot of work to pull this thing off. Remember a non-token creature control dies, put a slime counter, and then you put a green ooze creature. So we already need tokens to make... You gotta spend tokens to get tokens, I guess. That's how it works around here. Do vehicles count? No. I'm not... does it make creatures? It doesn't make creatures. It doesn't turn anything into creatures. It's like basically turning itself into a creature. I don't like it. Utsuho Chatterstorm, one of the most broken. Gotta have an honorary mention. Green 1 generic sorcery. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. But it's got Storm. So if you chatter too much, you'll bring all the squirrels to your yard. Banded Popper, by the way. Yep, don't be playing Popper around. If you're gonna be playing Chatterstorm, don't be bringing it to your Popper metagame. Boulder, Den of the Bugbear. It's funny, I just said vehicles aren't allowed, but I'm allowing, what's it called, creature lands. Is this consistent? If you control 2 or more lands, Den of the Bugbear enters the battlefield tapped. Tap, add a red, or you can pay 4. Until end of turn, Den of the Bugbear becomes a 3/2 goblin creature with whenever this creature attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. It's still land. Do you know what? Maybe I shouldn't count these. It doesn't really make a creature in any form or bring something. It's not bringing creatures to the yard. It's just transforming itself. So we'll donate that. We'll donate that super chat to a Blackbird. Rampage of Valkyries. I know you people love your creature lands. I do too. We got a black-white 3 generic enchantment. When the Valkyries enters the battlefield, you create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. So isn't this just Sarah Angel? Whenever an angel you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. This is almost strictly better Sarah Angel. But the creature makes a creature. Oh, you are right! Oh, I totally forgot about it. It does make a creature, then it works. It's good enough. It works for me. All right, I'm so sorry, Boulder. I didn't read the dotted line. You read the line better. And then also Blackbird stole a super chat, apparently. Got one for free. Yeah, whenever... This is just strictly better Sarah Angel. You had to splash black for it, but whatever. The Dark Angels. They've awakened. All right, we're going to look at more non-creature cards that make creatures, but we got to thank our sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com. Our favorite sponsor, and is also the sponsor of Everyday. Deal of the week this week, save 20% off all illegal Magic sets. I actually think today is the last day to get a hold of this deal, so any of the Pointy Corner Magic the Gathering cards, the Gold Border Magic the Gathering cards. By illegal, we mean the not tournament playable, but playable in your Commander group. And take advantage of it by getting 20% off at FusionGamingOnline.com. I do believe you can still use coupon code Nikachu at checkout to get an additional 5% off all your purchases. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. And I believe they've got an event coming up. What's the next one? They have an open event that you don't even have to work hard to get. It's free entry. When is it? The next one, oh, I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna spend all day looking for this, but it is the premier place to rent Magic cards to play all the formats you want for the low price of whatever subscription fee you feel you want to pay. Want to play Commander? You can also pay it for 25 bucks, and you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_XQJ. All right, we've got more weirdo cards to look at. Okay, who hasn't gone to Super Chat? You guys, like, people are very active here. Okay, who hasn't gone to Super Chat? I don't know. I don't think Lion Tamer got one. Mirror Turbine. Isn't that the one that gives everyone else mirrors? It works so well with Goblin Engineer. 5 mana. Tap. Put a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token onto the battlefield. Oh no, it's the... Oh, there's another one that makes mirrors. I think it gives people mirrors? Tap, and then you have to tap 5 untap mirror you control. Search your library for a mirror creature card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library, and you're probably going to find the Mirror Battlesphere. Does anyone know what the Mirror Battlesphere is? I don't know what other payoff card there is. Mirror Battle... Well, I guess you can get a Changeling or something. This is the only thing that I was thinking. This is the best mirror card that I know in the game. I could be completely wrong, though. Okay, next super chat, we go to King Ginger's Sandstorm. Okay, Sandworm. Sandworm Convergence. Green, 6 generic enchantment. Creatures with flying can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Only the flyers. So finally, we got Flying Emote. And at the beginning of your end step, create a 5/5 green worm creature token. That works. That is so weird. No flying allowed. Oh, I get it. So it's like a sandstorm, so you want to be low on the ground, not high up there. Mirror Battlesphere and Urtet 8, the only mirror payoffs. Ah, I get it. And the Changelings! Don't forget about the Changelings out there. Okay, we got Restion Serpentine with Goblin Offensive. They must be offended. Red 1 generic X sorcery. Just put X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. You got infinite mana? Well, we can tell you how to spend that mana. It's on goblins. We got goblins for hire over here. That flavor text, they certainly are. They are, aren't they? Amanda Mason with Thopter. Ooh, I love this one. Thopter Spy Network. I like, you know what? I like anything that makes me cards, also drawing me cards. So we have a blue 2 generic. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control an artifact, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying. But whenever one or more artifact creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card. I love cards like this. I love anything that draws me cards. Next super chat, we got Pacers Fan Forever. A Johnny, Strength of Pride. Johnny, where are you? We have... I don't know the language. Portuguese, maybe? I have no idea. Okay, we have white 2 generic. It's a 4 loyalty of Johnny. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That return... It does not make but then -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, create 3 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. Hold on, is that it? Oh, at the beginning of your end step, so we get it every single turn. I'm like, -7? For 3 1/1s? That's a ripoff. And then someone else would say, well, it's got lifelink. It's every turn, so it's like a super Bitter Blossom. Speaking of Bitter Blossom, Dario mentioning the worst card, in my opinion, the most overrated card in all of Magic the Gathering. Price of it is going down, but not really. I think the average used to be like 35. Now it's getting as low as 20. People are starting to believe. It's a black 1 generic fairy tribal enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, though, you lose 1 life and you create a 1/1 black fairy rogue creature token. I will say again, like, you commander plays, you have 40 life, so who cares? But in one-on-one Magic, this thing will kill you! I've killed sorry, I didn't kill them. My opponents have killed themselves with their own Bitter Blossom just too many times. Thank you, please play more Bitter Blossoms out there. Are these like permanent cards, or do instants and sorceries count? Well, you tell me, Matthew. Is an instant and sorcery a non-creature card? Yes, anything that isn't a creature counts. But it's gotta make a creature. Okay, next super chat we got from Knife. Oh, I wish I had a knife sound effect. Do I have something similar? Not really. Deep Root Waters. Actually, this ability, I played this in Commander, and I was actually blown away by how strong this card is. It's a blue 2 generic enchantment. Whenever you cast a Merfolk spell, create a 1/1 blue Merfolk creature token with hexproof. Like, it gets out of line really quickly. And the creatures have hexproof, so your removal is useless versus it. You know, come at me, Fury. I think I should actually experiment with this thing in Modern. It's like, the problem is you have to take a turn off. Like, taking turn 3 off is a little bit dubious. And you have to cast a Merfolk. Too bad it wasn't ETB. Because if it had to be ETB, I could vial them in play. But it's if you get to untap with this thing, it's quite a card. Mr. Mystery with Skrelv's Hive. We did Skrelv's Hive already. Sorry about that. David Sampson with Spawning Pit. It's a 2 generic artifacts. Sack a creature, put a charge counter on Spawning Pit, then you pay 1, remove 2 charge counters from Spawning Pit, put a 2/2 colorless spawn artifact creature token onto the battlefield. You pay mana, you get your artifacts. Artifact creatures. Next super chat from, we did Knife, we do King Ginger, Rise and Shine. Rise. Oops. Is this easy to find? Hold on, Rise and... Is the word and? Oh no, it worked. A target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature token. Put 4+1/+1 counters on each artifact that became a creature this way. It's basically Toy Story the card. All this inanimate objects are suddenly coming alive. And you overload. Blue 4 generic, you may cast the spell for its overload cost. If you do, exchange target to each target non-creature artifact you only you control. So you basically can turn your entire board state into Toy Story. Bison Queen, attend the pests. What? I'm very curious what this card is. This person is literally treating these, it's like bugs that you capture and you put in, like, I don't know, a Tupperware container. We have a green-black instant. As additional cost to cast the spell, we have to sack the creature. Then create X 1/1 black and green pest creature tokens with when this creature dies, you gain a life, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. What does that imply? Are we eating the pests? Like, how? Why do we gain the life? This guy looks hungry too. Next super chat, we've got Utsuho, Elrond's Epiphany. Also makes burbs. Oh, right. This is the bird maker. Wasn't this banned for a second? Or I think it got an errata in Historic or something to that effect. We have a blue 5 generic sorcery. Create 2 1/1 bird creature tokens with flying. But then you take an extra turn after this one. Exile Elrond's Epiphany. Every take an extra turn card should exile itself. Get the hell out of here. And it's got foretell. During your turn, you may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand face down. Cast on a later turn for its foretell cost. It was the new morph at the time. I feel like most pest tokens have that ability, gaining life. We must eat the pests. Arthur has a question. Does Reshape the Earth count? Reshape the Earth. I'll take a look. You can search creature lands. Okay, we have green, 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 6 generic sorcery. Search your library for up to 10 land cards put onto the battlefield. No. Definitely no. Yes. I mean, there's always a weird world. Well, I can look up an enchantment that makes the creatures, you know. Or I could look up the land that tutors out enchantments that makes creatures. You know, we're not stretching it that far. Yeah, we're pushing it really hard. This thing that Reshape the Earth is gonna look for, what's it called? The creature that makes creatures. The Den of the Bugbear. Den of the Bugbear. Okay, Spongehead. Sacramency. Black enchantment enters the battlefield. You get it. It's almost like casting a creature. You just put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are no zombies on the battlefield, Sacramency deals 1 damage to you. You get a little smacked in the face every single upkeep. Now that really feels like a card that's just, it's like you're paying the cost of a creature. You get a creature. It literally is a creature. It's just that when the creature's dead, well, it has like a lasting effect that you're not gonna like. Platonic Liquid. Oh, what do you got for us here? The best reusable artifact token maker, Mere Turbine. Oh, did you get sniped? Oh, you got sniped hard. Okay, Platonic Liquid, you know how it goes. And you wouldn't even feel bad about it either. We're gonna... Maskwood Nexus is good with Mere Turbine and qualifies as well. Okay, it looks like... We'll give your super chat to you, I guess. Maskwood Nexus. The 4-mana artifact, creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Pay 3, tap, create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. Oh, the Changeling generators. But also goes very well with the, what's it called? The Mere Turbine. Some 124C, Pegasus Refuge. It's an old one, which means it sucks. It's a white 3 generic enchantment. Pay 2, choose and discard a card. Put a Pegasus token into play. Treat this token as a 1/1 white creature token with flying. My god. The things you had to do. Why? They clearly could have broken this a little bit more. I'm paying 6 mana and discarding a card for a 1/1 flyer. Yeah, that's the inverse of value, if you ask me. Someone should make a chart like value versus not value and have like magic cards to represent the different parts of the chart. Pegasus Refuge, great mana, low value. Pacers Fan Forever is back with Retrofitter Foundry. Oh, is that cube card? Retrofitter. Yeah, the cube card you can find with Urza Saga, amongst a bunch of other cards. Pay 1. Whoops. You pay 1 for this artifact. Pay 3, untap Retrofitter Foundry. Pay 2, tap, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. And if you have a servo, you can pay 1, tap, sack it to make a 1/1 with flying. And then you can, if you've got that, you can tap, sacrifice the Thopter, and create a 4/4 colorless construct artifact creature token. It's like it's the non-creature card that keeps making creatures, but also at the expense of sacrificing the last one. Was that a super chat? That was a super chat, so we gotta go to a free one with... Who hasn't got one today? Can't tell if you got one yet, Turat. Okay, Dollhouse of Horrors. 5 mana artifact, pay 1, tap, exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of the exile card, except it's a 0/0 construct. Artifact in addition to its other types, and it has, this creature gets +1/+1 for each construct you control. Oh, those constructs. These are greater in numbers for some reason. What's the flavor behind that? Machines are stronger in numbers. Okay, it gains haste until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Weird card. Or you can have Thopters and make 4/4s. That's right. If you have Thopters through other cards, this thing will just make straight 4/4s for just tapping it. That's broken. Oh, super chat time. Barbara! Maskwood Nexus makes my Grolnut commander work. Oh no, Barbara, you got sniped by Platonic Liquid, who got sniped on her Mirror Turbine. Okay, Barbara, do you have something else? Otherwise, we donating it. I don't see anything immediately from Barbara. Sorry about that, Barbara. We are donating your super chat to Hyena. I've never seen you before. Pestilent Cauldron. It's a black 2 generic artifact. Tap, discard a card, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with this. When it dies, you gain a life. Also, you can pay 1 tap. Each opponent mills cards equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. You can also pay 4. Exile 4 target cards from a single graveyard to draw a card. And there's more! There's a lot of cards wrapped up into this card. You can also pay the sorcery part of this for green 3 generic. Return up to 2 target creature, land, or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Each player gains 4 life. And then you gotta exile this thing. Unbelievable. Okay, Barbara actually came back. We got Shorikai Genesis Engine. Oh my goodness. We got a blue, white, 2 generic, 8/8 vehicle. Pay 1 tap, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. You create a 1/1 colorless pilot. A pilot! You create a pilot for the vehicle. But hold on, I thought we were already piloting this thing. That doesn't make any sense. Like, we have to crew it. Oh no, you don't have to crew it. Oh, you make a pilot. Oh, I get it. I thought this thing is already crewed. Okay, so we got no crew. We don't have a pilot to fly this plane. But we can pay 1 tap, draw 2 cards, discard, then we make a pilot. And this creature crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. Well, that's not very high. This requires a huge crew 8. And it can be your commander. That's wild. That can be a commander? Who wants this as their commander? Oh, because you draw cards and discard a card. Okay. You got a big looting machine. And it's not even that much to get it onto the battlefield. Fun you said no vehicles, but this counts. No, it can't. It makes a creature. Look, it makes the 1/1. It just can't. It can't be a vehicle because you turn it into itself a creature. And same thing with the creature lands. Urza's Factory counts. Because it makes creatures. It's a token generator. Chows with Wormquake. I'm learning about a whole bunch of new cards on this show today. Green 4 generic sorcery. Corrupted. Create an XX green Phyrexian worm creature token with trample and toxic 1. Why are they adding toxic to everything? This is pointless. Where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell, then for each opponent with 3 or more poison counters, you create another one of those tokens. So basically, things get worse. And flashback for 10 mana. You can cast this card from your graveyard for flashback cost, then exile it. Okay, I think I have to get through all them super chats, because we have a billion of them. Or maybe we don't have a billion. Maybe we are going to get close. Okay, Pacers fan forever. Loves Storm. Empty the Warrens. You're a Storm player, aren't you, Pacers fan? You're a fan of Pacers, and you're also a fan of Storm. Red 3 generic sorcery, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, and it has Storm. Just play a bunch of 0-mana artifacts, crack them all for mana, get your Empty the Warrens, put like 10 to 14 goblin creatures onto the battlefield, and watch your opponent suffer. Did somebody say Crow Storm? Is that a real card? Paul Rogg, did we do Kill Jordan Outpost? Nope. Doran Outpost. It's a land. If it would enter the battlefield, sack a plains instead. If you do, put it onto the battlefield. If you don't, put its owner's graveyard. Oh god. This is a price. The outpost cost is high. We can tap, add a white to our mana pool, or we can pay 2 mana. Tap, put a 1/1 white soldier creature token onto the battlefield. I would love something like this for Merfolk, and without the sack clause. Is that even too strong for this game anymore? I don't think so. Like, it's very enchantment-like. But I don't care. Give me infinite creatures. I don't even think it would matter right now in Magic. Magic has gone pushed so far. It wouldn't even matter if you gave this to every deck with some sort of creature type. Give a goblins its own generate 1/1 1/1s for forever. The Nightly Cat with West Vale. Ooh, huge fan favorite. Oh, isn't it West Vale? Is this a real card? Westfall, Abby? Hold on. I'm pretty sure you're saying West Vale. Yeah, you were saying West Vale. I gotcha, Nightly Cat. I knew exactly what you're talking about. It's a very huge fan favorite card. It adds a mana. It can also pay. You pay 5 mana. You pay 1 life. You put a 1/1 human cleric onto the battlefield. And if you sacrifice 5 creatures, you get this abomination. Flying lifelink, indestructible haste 9/7. But the most important thing is it makes human clerics. It does that. Michelon, Carrion. Oops, I have to get back to the super chats. Black, 1 generic instant. Sack a creature. Put into play a number of maggots equal to the sacrifice creature's power. Treat them as 0/1 creatures. Disgusting. Very, very disgusting. Reanimate. That is absolutely not going to count. Or does it? You know what? You Boulder, you're making like controversial cards. Reanimate. To be honest, maybe I should have disqualified Bribery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. You lose life equal to its mana value. I guess it makes a creature, sort of. This is on the very iffy path of whether this thing counts on the show or not. But I probably incorrectly... Probably this doesn't count. And probably Bribery also didn't count. I didn't think about it at the time. I don't mind if it's blowing stuff up and then creating a creature. But this is literally stealing someone else's creature. Does not create creature. Brings back creature. I just don't want the show filled with like what's it called? Return to the ranks. So Boulder, we're gonna donate your super chat to Scoot Swarm is a creature. Hopper. These are non-creature cards that make creatures. One day we'll have a show, creatures that make creatures, because there's a lot of them out there as well. Did we do the Mog Infestation? We will now. Okay, red 3 generic sorcery. Destroy all creatures. Target player controls. For each creature that died this way, put 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield under that player's control. And I guess the goblins are like, I didn't do it. It wasn't our fault. Well, where'd all the creatures go? We didn't do it. Says the Mog. King Ginger. With life and limb. Also a little outside the box, maybe. Life and limb. We have a green 3 generic enchantment. All forests and all saplings are 1/1 green sapling creatures and forest lands in addition to their other types. All forests and all saplings are 1/1 green sapling. I don't understand why the saplings have to turn into saplings. Unless there are bigger saplings that now just turn into 1/1 green sapling creatures and forest lands in addition to other types. What the hell does that mean? So hold on, all forest. Oh, maybe it's all forests become saplings, all saplings become forests at the same time. Everything's basically sort of like a dryad arbor in a really like weird way. Sapling Bris is an amazing card. It is. We looked at it. Okay, I'm going to look at the next super chat. Okay, Platonic Liquid. Reminder how ridiculous Army of the Damned is. That's right! The Army! Black 5 generic sorcery. Create 13! 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Flashback! Make another 13! It costs 10 mana. The low cost of 8 mana than 10 mana. That's the only bottleneck to this card. Matthew Pohl and Endless Ranks of the Dead. Boop. Black 2 generic enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a 2/2. Oh, we did this one. Where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down, which means we are going to donate your super chat to Joey over here. Joe Tiefer with breeding pit. You know what was the real breeding pit? Oh no, we did this one already. The real breeding pit was that Mog basement card. The goblins in the basement. We definitely didn't get anything from Jacob today yet. Clown extruder. Ugh. These weirdo cards. What is this? Visit. Create a 1/1 white clown robot artifact creature token. I don't even know what that means. The sound it makes is indescribable and unsettling, but it does make a great clown. That makes no sense to me. How about from Markzilla, Emilio's Call? I don't even know what clown intruder. I have no idea what that card just did. Okay, 7 mana, create a 2/4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until your next turn. And it's also a land. It doubles as a land. You get a 2-for-1 deal here. Buy one Amiria's Call, get an Amiria Shattered Skyclave free. Only today while supplies last. Steve Cooper. I'll go through my new sound effects again. Splinter Twin, could they be unbanned? Splinter Twin. Probably not. Actually, in this environment, you know what? Who knows? Who cares anymore? They should just empty the coffers in Modern. Splinter Twin, red, 2 generic aura. Tap. Sorry, you enchant the creature, tap the creature, put a token that's a copy of this creature onto the battlefield. It has haste and exile at the beginning of the next end step. Sean McCartney. Oh, God. I don't have no idea how long ago this was. I'm looking for Sean McCartney super chat. You're crazy, Sean. I think anyone who donates less than $2, you risk your super chat getting eaten up and then donated to the crowd. The super chat doesn't come with words. It's being donated. Okay, I found it. Sean. How much time did you spend between donating the super chat and then suggesting something? Sean, okay, Nature's Revolt. Be thankful I am so patient to dig for your super chats. We have a green 3 generic enchantment. All lands are 2/2 creatures that are still lands. That is very unnerving. Just 1 pyroclasm and they're all dead. They're all gonna... and then we're gonna have a funeral for all our lands. The land rises up to defend against those who would spoil its beauty. I'm always concerned when my lands turn into creatures. I don't mind a few of them turning into creatures, but all of them turning into creatures? No, thank you. Kelduin, a finale of glory. We got white X sorcery. Create X 2/2 white soldier creature tokens with vigilance if X is 10 or more. Also create X 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance. What? You also create. So if you can spend 12 mana on this, you get how much power? 40, 50? No, 60 power worth of cards at 10 because you get 10 2/2 creatures, which is 20 power, and then 10 4/4s, which is 40 power. That's insane. Platonic Liquid trolling me here. You can see it. We'll get down to it when we get to our super chat. Pacers Fed Forever again. Field of the Dead. Oh, I forgot this card existed. Is this a commander staple in any way? Enters the battlefield tapped, you add a colorless, but whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, with different names, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Them zombies can get out of control. They're great on defense, and they're also great on offense. Okay, Barbara. We got Squirrel Nest to make them squirrels. I like Squirrel's Nest. This used to be a combo with Opposition. Opposition is an enchantment. Tap a creature you control to tap down target permanent? Yeah, any permanent. Or was it any permanent? It's basic. Tap lands. Artifact, creature, or land. Okay. Can't tap planeswalkers, apparently. Enchant land. Enchant land has tap. Make a 1/1 green squirrely creature token. Every single turn. Also combos with... the green card. The banned legacy green card. I don't remember now. But it's a combo. It's that green card. It's is Earthcraft? Earthcraft is like a green 1 generic whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap a forest. And so Squirrel Nest can make like infinite tokens in that regard. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. People coming up to my rescue. Iris with spawning grounds. We got green 6 generic aura enchant low. This is Squirrel Nest. Take a seat because we're making bigger creatures around here. Enchant land has tap, create a 5/5 green beast creature token with with trample. Now imagine this with Earthcraft. That's broken. Okay, next up, the big squig with body of research. Blue, green, sorcery, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X 1/1 +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of cards in your library. Whoa, that's wild. Create a 0, we get a what is a fractal creature token? And then it gets counters equal to the number of cards in our library, which is very likely to be more life than your opponent has. Needle Deep had promised his final project would be his biggest one yet. They're not wrong. They definitely weren't wrong. That's a big squirrel. They're spawning more than squirrels around here. Markzilla with Shark Typhoon. Blue 5 generic. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. You can also cycle it for a blue and an X. When you cycle Shark Typhoon, you create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. The more mana you got, the bigger the shark you get. Gray armor with Genesis Chamber. Is that the thing I was thinking of? The card that gives creatures? Pay 2. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, if Genesis Chamber is untapped, that creature's controller creates a 1/1 colorless mirror artifact creature token. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield. Maybe that's it? Like, whenever I play a creature, I think that's the card I was thinking of earlier. That creates, gives the opponent's creatures. But I'm not sure. I swear there's, like, an artifact out there. At, like, every upkeep, someone gets a token. I saw a deck like that, but it also used Genesis Chamber. Okay, next super chat. Platonic Liquid with the troll. I saw that. She was like, if you don't say anything, we're donating it. She pounced on the opportunity to donate to William with Phyrexian Rebirth. A lot of Phyrexian cards. White 4 generic sorcery. Destroy all creatures. Then create an XX colorless Phyrexian horror artifact creature token, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. So from the garbage, they made some giant Phyrexian out of it. As long as 1 drop of the oil exists, the joyous work continues. That precious oil. Black gold, Texas tea. So hold on. What are the Phyrexians gonna do without the oil? They love Texas. Epic Nate, 4th ear. Is this really a card? I'm gonna look up 4th E. I have a feeling this is not the card. Okay, I'm gonna look up exactly as you wrote it. Eor Lingus. Okay, that's actually look like a typo to me. Okay, it's a white, red, X sorcery. Create X/2/2 red human creature, knight creature tokens with trample and haste. Oh, I got obliterated by this card in Legacy actually not too long ago. It was like their win condition when they had a bunch of lands up. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to 1 or more players this turn, you become the monarch. Unbelievable card. Zeekfog doesn't have a card today, but says hi. Welcome. Nothing but cold. Rebuild the city. Jund 3 generic sorcery. Choose target land. Create 3 tokens that are copies of it, except they're 3/3 creatures in addition to their other types, and they have vigilance and menace. That absolutely counts. It's a lot of work. Hold on. Choose target land. Create 3 tokens that are copies of it, except they're 3/3 creatures in addition. so you can copy your lands. They said you can only have one of each land in Commander, but you found a way to cheat around it. Steve Cooper! Donation for chat. Steve Cooper looking out for the coffee crew here. We got Nadzir with Mirex. Mirex is a sphere. A land sphere? What kind of weird subtype is that? Could add a colorless. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Activates if Mirex entered the battlefield this turn. That's an interesting ability. Pay 3, tap, create a 1/1 Phyrexian Might artifact creature token with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. That's insane! Okay, I want one like this for Merfolk now. Give me a creature generator. Why do the Phyrexian Mights have creature generation at this capacity and I can't? Red, Geometric Nexus. I think the bread is getting moldier on your avatar. We pay 2 for an artifact. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, put a number of charge counters on Geometric Nexus equal to that spell's mana value. Pay 6. Tap, remove all charge counters from Geometric Nexus to make a 0/0 green and blue another fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of charge counters removed this way. Doesn't cost a whole lot to get out, and it's any player playing instants and sorceries. So, okay, by all means, you people, play your instants and sorceries. Be my guest. The set symbol is a sphere, but for the last one? That is true. It's a land sphere. Maybe they're going to come out with more spheres. Okay, Alpha Nerd. What do you got for us here? Ink Shield. More Phyrexian cards, I think. We have a black-white 3 generic instant. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to you this turn. For each 1 damage prevented this way, you create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flank. Now that's a fog I can get. I can get behind that. Most fogs are like, just prevent the damage. That's it. We're done. Oh, for all the damage I prevent, you attacked me for 30. Well, now I'm gonna put like 60 power worth of, creatures on the battlefield. Okay, Chows with viral spawning. Green 2 generic sorcery. Create a 3/3 green Phyrexian beast creature token. Another toxic creature. So many toxic creatures. Corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters and viral spawning is in your graveyard, it has flashback. That is weird. That is I've never seen something with situational flashback. And it's always when your opponent, if your opponent is like close to dying, will things get worse. Platonic Liquid says, spheres are the layers of the plane in New Phyrexia. There's the Mirex, the Mycosynth Gardens. Oh, I'm familiar with that one. The Monumental Facade, and the Seed Core, and only one for each Praetor. And we've run out of Super Chats, so that means it's the end of today's show. But thank you for being here today. Whoops. Where am I going? I'm going over here. And if you want to be part of the show, you want to be part of Coffee and MTG, you got to be here Monday to Friday, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you very much, everybody, for your support. You're either a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of this show every single morning. We got to thank everyone who shows up. The Coffee Crew in the morning, Platonic Liquid, Toads, Markzilla, Mario, Professor, Christopher B, David, Old Boy. We've got Crackling X-Goblin, Steve Cooper. Pretty sure I got Toads. We got to name Toads again. Joshua, David, Oldboy, Bread, Balder. Because, as usual, my coffee crew, I'm nothing without all of you. So, keep brewing up them coffees, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next